Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's featured Reddit stories are from PettyRevenge. Story 1 is by JHW7753. I returned my neighbor's new laptop to the shipping office. My neighbor and I aren't friends, but we wave when passing in vehicles or walking. About a year ago, my wife had ordered something for one of our kids and it was delivered to the wrong house. Our house numbers and mailbox are very similar and easy to confuse. Picture 668 and 688. After a couple days, I called and they sent me the photo taken of the box on my neighbor's porch, so I walked over to retrieve it and was told I brought it back to the shipping hub. I was heading in that direction anyway. When I asked why he didn't either just text me or walk next door, he didn't have an answer. Okay, very frustrating. It took 5 more days for our item to arrive. Lol. Well, on Friday afternoon, I'm WFH. And I see a box is delivered to my porch. I go out to get it, see it's his package. On the small return portion of the ship label, it says Lenovo, 1-day rush, and the shipping sticker says like $31.39. My neighbor, assumably, ordered a laptop by the weight of it and rushed it over. I picked it up and went straight to the shipping center. After all my errands were done, so I was walking in at 4:50. Didn't want to risk that they would redeliver it before the end of the day. Yesterday, he comes over with a photo of the box on my front desk to ask if I have his box and that it's important, and I respond, I brought it back to be redelivered. He looked almost enraged and says, why? I said, that's the exact same question I asked you when you did it previously. I just thought this was what you wanted going forward. He was walking down my driveway, shaking his head extra dramatically. But what's good for one should be good for all. No. I don't know why he's so upset over it. He did it to your stuff, you did it to his. There was nothing disrespectful about having them redeliver it. I think you guys should probably work on being a little bit more neighborly, but you know what? No. Sometimes not being neighborly leads to stories like this, so you know what? You do you, OP. It's totally fine. Our next story today is by BadStage8133. I made sure he didn't get his dream girl. My now ex I had living with me had laid down and become a total bum for the last 2 months he was here. In addition to him becoming a bum, he was also mentally abusive, and I found out he was cheating or trying to cheat, hitting up a bunch of exes to try to get back with them. They were all currently in relationships and rejected him. When he was working and pretending to be a faithful, equal partner, I had added him to my phone plan. Part of the deal was us all getting new phones as his was shattered and not having to pay a monthly fee for the phone over 36 months. I kicked him out due to all the cheating and agreed to keep him on the phone plan as long as he cash-apped me the monthly bill for his part. Of course, this ended up not happening. In fact, he took the phone and sold it at a kiosk for pocket money. His excuse was that since I kicked him out and he was on the road and his car broke down, he needed the money for car parts. Instead of returning the phone, he left me having to pay hundreds for it even though I kicked him out for legit reasons. I was furious. I ended up being cordial with him when he agreed to start making payments for the phone he sold. In this, I found out he was working on getting back with an ex, the one who got away, the one he hitchhiked 1,000 miles for to go see when he was younger. Bragging that she was putting her neck on the line to get him a job in her city, a job working with individuals who need professional mental help and support. Bragged that he really wanted her all along, all these years he was married, all those months he was with me, which made me cringe. He's an incredibly abusive, cheating, lying, scamming loser. In charge of helping other people? I think not. He was going to ruin this woman's life and use her like he did me, possibly ruin her life and career. I anonymously contacted her to let her know everything he did to me, and even told her the story of what happened with his ex-wife. A story I didn't believe until I was going through it myself. She got an EPO on him, but he claimed he didn't do a darn thing to her. It worked. In the midst of him traveling states away to go be with her, she ended things and blocked him. He was so pissed, and I understand. I wasn't about to let another woman deal with his pathetic self, though, nor ruin her career because some scam artist piece of crap weaseled his way into getting her to trust him. No regrets. I don't agree with revenge like this. If you dated them, You should make a clean break and move on from each other. Everybody in the world, I think, deserves happiness, and everybody can pursue who they want. And maybe he could have been in a really good relationship with her. Maybe he could have been a better person. But we'll never know that now. People can change their stripes. This guy sounds like a real dirtbag, but did he really deserve all this? I think you're being overly petty. I'm only saying this as somebody who knows people who have reached rock bottom in their life, and they still deserve to try to bring themselves out of that. I don't know. I don't agree with this sort of revenge. I just don't. Our last story today is by Hot Dog Water 88888. My boyfriend was being a total turd last night, so I scared the crap out of him. He was just being a complete turd. We argued. Well, he argued. I was so over it. I remained calm and waited for him to start falling asleep. I quietly pulled out my phone and connected my Bluetooth soundbar and subwoofer in the living room. It turns on automatically by connecting, so I didn't have to get up. I know how loud the speaker is, so I turned it way down to a realistic volume, but keep in mind the subwoofer is connected to it, so it still sounds incredibly deep and rich. Once I had the volume where I wanted it, I started by playing a knocking or thud sound effect. I was using Spotify Premium, so no pesky advertisement risks. He didn't seem to hear the knocking, so I switched it up to demonic sounds like growling and breathing and stuff like that. It played for like 20 seconds before he perked up and was like, "Do you hear that?" And I was acting like I was half asleep and just groaned and said, "Huh?" He gets out of the bed and makes his way towards the living room. I quickly turned it off so he wouldn't be able to detect where the sound was coming from. He came back in and was like, "Bro, what the F was that? It stopped as soon as I went in there." I acted unbothered and sleepy, and he eventually got back in bed and went to sleep. Today after he went to work, he texted me that he heard knocking and that it sped up before he started hearing growls and breathing in the living room. I was like, lol, and he said, "No, I'm dead the F serious." And I sent a laughing gif. He replies, "Bro, I'm not lying, I really heard that stuff." I finally broke and was like, LMFAO, you were being a turd, so I connected to the speaker to play demonic sounds. I've been dying thinking about the fact that he totally heard the knocking, but was paralyzed with fear. Maybe I'm evil, lol, but the whole thing was just so funny to me and so petty. I don't know if it's just me, but anytime that I ever read a story and I find a mention of a company, I think it's a hidden advertisement, just to try to get people to sign up for their service. That being said, this is mean. You guys argued with each other. You didn't have to scare him in the middle of the night. This would be okay if it was done around Halloween time and you guys weren't fighting and you just wanted to scare him. Doing it in payback for an argument you guys had, nobody was hurt in this, but I imagine that he didn't get a whole lot of sleep that night, which is kind of mean. Our stories for today have come to a close. Until we meet again, have a beautiful day.